Good morning, Mananda. Myself Bhavani from Civil Department. We have discussed about the toxicity, and today we are going to discuss about the types of toxicity and also the again another new chemical hazard, that is nuclear explosions. Means due to this nuclear explosions also chemical hazards are going to be happen. Why? Because when this explosion is exploded means from that explosion also so many chemicals are going to be released into the atmosphere. That will be called as one of the main source of this chemical hazards also. Okay. Coming to the main topic, that is types of toxicity. And in these types of toxicity, we are having four types. That is acute toxicity, and next is subacute, next is subchronic, and last one is chronic toxicity. And according to this one, this toxicity is based upon the how that type of toxicity humans are going to be exposed towards this toxicity, and at how much time they can sustain towards this toxicity. Means when any human or when any animal is going to be exposed towards this chemical hazard, means any chemical they are going to expose it means within this time they can be saved, but after this time after 24 hours they can't be saved. So according to this period, means when humans or animals, when they are exposed towards this chemical or any toxicity, means how much period they can sustain, that is called as this toxicity. Okay, in this one acute toxicity is nothing but it is the effect of any substance that will form within the single exposure or any multi-exposure within very short period, that is 24 hours. Means when our body is exposed towards this dangerous substance, that will take, means that effect will be, we can see that effect within the short period of 24 hours only. Means that may be single exposure or that may be multiple exposure here. Okay. Mainly, what are the characteristics of this acute toxicity or it will appear rapidly. Means when these acute toxicity substances, when they will enter in our body, they will they are going to start its function very rapidly. Means within some hours or within some minutes only, they are going to be affected our body. Okay. After within the span of some 24 hours, or some may take only 2 hours or 1 hour only. Means they will just infect our body within some time only. Okay. And because of this exposure towards this toxicity, what will happen means if you are going to expose very severely towards this substance, that will make our body very weak within minutes only. And it is mainly dependent on the dose also. Means how much of the dose of this toxicity we humans can be exposed. Means it will, if it is increased that dose, okay, means some of the chemicals, when we are researching with that chemicals, means that chemicals when they touch our body, okay, they touch our body means automatically we have to go through the medical processes to not infect our body. Okay, so likewise when that any chemical comes into our body, means that depends on the dose also. Means very a very minute amount of this dose entered in our body, means that may not infect our body. But when this dose is very large, very in maximum content, it is it is go towards our body, means it will be very much dangerous, and within minutes only we can be die. And if that is a higher dose, means high effects can be seen in our body, whether in our body or whether in our like lungs, kidneys, liver. These are also going to be affected because of this acute toxicity. And next one is examples. And in this example, for example, we can say take that cyanide we can take. Why? Because when we consume the cyanide, okay, when we are going to consume the cyanide, it will we can see the immediate action of this cyanide. Why? Because it is nothing but the poisoning, and that will leads to our death also. So ingesting our ingesting our body with this large dose of cyanide means very small amount of dosage, very minute amount. We can say that okay, that can be treated with the medical process. Okay, but if large dose of this cyanide enters our body means it can cause the immediate poisoning, and that also leads towards this death also. And when, for example, if we are going to inhale very large amount of carbon monoxide also, okay, carbon monoxide we are going to inhale means that will lead to the unconscious and also the fatal outcomes. Means this is one of the very dangerous chemical also, okay, carbon monoxide. When we are inhaling or very high concentration of this carbon monoxide we inhale means that will automatically leads towards this unconsciousness, and also the means potential fatal outcomes can be seen in our body. Okay, means next one is health effects. Means these acute toxicity, what will happen means when we consume these acute toxicity substances, we inhale or we touch like that means it will cause firstly nausea. Okay, nausea, and also the respiratory problems we may get, and also vomiting we may see, and seizures, and also it also leads towards the death also. Means some may be severe seizures can be seen, and some may be these respiratory problems can be seen. Okay, these are all the effects which will comes from this acute toxicity. Okay, and next one is subacute toxicity. And in this subacute toxicity, actually acute toxicity, it will take action within 24 hours. Okay, but this subacute toxicity, it will, we can see the effect of this toxicity about from 1 week to 1 month range. Okay, why? Because when repeated exposure towards these toxic substances or toxic material means automatically when we expose our body towards it means we have to be very careful to wear the different types of gloves and mask, and also we have to cover up our whole body. But when we are not going to cover our body and we are exposing towards that one means automatically that effect on our body we can see within some 1 week to 1 month also. Okay, and next one is characteristics, and in these characteristics the exposure is very much frequent. Means when we are going to expose towards this subacute toxicity means some time of the exposure is okay. Okay, but if we are going to expose our body towards this subacute toxicity substances very long enough, we are going to expose it means that will cause numerous effects towards our body. Okay, and in this one when we are going to compare this acute and also subacute, these acute symptoms can be seen within 24 hours, but this subacute toxicity substances symptoms we can see after 1 month or after 1 week also we may see, but symptoms can be appear very quickly sometimes. Okay, means that may sometimes it may lead to the death also, but exposure time is very less means we can save ourselves by treating with the medical care. Okay, and next one is examples, and in these examples main purpose of this subacute toxicity is when we are exposing towards this daily exposure of a very low dose of this pesticides for several weeks or like that means we are going to get the symptoms like headaches, dizziness also. Okay, if you are going to inhale this type of toxicity substances also, sometime means very long time we are exposed towards these chemicals means it may lead towards the death also. But very low amount or very low dosage of this subacute toxicity is happened means that will only we are going to see the symptoms of headaches and also the dizziness here. Okay. And next is health effects. And in this health effects, some of the means what are the symptoms we are going to see when we are going to expose it towards this subacute toxicity means some may be suffering from organ damage and behavior changes. Why? Because we can see some people when some people may be silent at sometimes, but when means unintentionally also when they exposed towards this subacute toxicity means their behavior means within the span of some days only their personality, silent personality may changes towards the hyperactive personality because of the inhaling of this subacute toxicity. And some other systematic effects can be very much apparent, and if the repeated exposure can be seen means we have to face so much body loss like organ damages of kidneys and lungs, and for sometimes we can get the seizures also. Okay. And next one is subchronic toxicity. And in this subchronic toxicity, it may when we are going to continuously expose our body towards this toxic substances means we are going to see the symptoms of within some 1 month to 3 months. Why? Because we can see the difference here, and acute is maybe we can see the symptoms within 24 hours, but subacute we can see the symptoms in 1 week to 1 month. Okay. And likewise here also subchronic toxicity we can see this type of when we expose it towards this toxic materials means or toxic substances means we may immediately not get any symptoms, but in the time of very medium term span of 1 month to 3 months we can see the symptoms when we are going to expose it towards this chronic toxicity substances. And mainly what are the characteristics of this subchronic toxicity or effects can be, we can see these effects or symptoms within the span of 3 months also with this repeated exposure. When we repeatedly expose it towards this substances means effects can be seen within the 1 week also, or within some 15 days also we can see the symptoms, because this can be seen symptoms about 1 month to 3 weeks. But if that exposure time is very much increased or a high dosage we are going to expose it towards this chronic toxicity substances means we have to see the symptoms within 1 week also sometimes. And sometimes by inhaling this type of toxic materials also, that may overall affect our body, and sometimes it can worsen our whole body. Means it also worsen the immune power of our body also. And next is example, and in this where we are going to continuously exposed or low level of this industrial solvents in workplace means over the span of several months, that people can lead towards the liver damage or any kidney problems also. Okay. And some these are the neurological effects also, like kidney problems like that. Okay. And some may get kidney stones also, and there will be damage of this liver. Okay. And here, if we are going to mitigate this type of hazards means we have to be very careful when we are going to expose it towards this toxic chemicals or toxic substances. When compared with the previously acute and also subacute toxicity, this one is somewhat better. Why? Because we may see the symptoms for means after the some months. Okay, means in that month span we can go towards the doctor, means we can consult the doctor, means what problem we are facing and what is the remedy for that problem. We can easily consult this doctor within that short span also. Okay. And next one is health effects. And in this health effects, can be, means when we are exposed towards a very large dosage of that toxic materials, means there will be organ damage or hormonal imbalances can be done. Means some people because of this high tension also they may get hormonal imbalance. So likewise here also, when we are exposed towards these toxic materials with high dosage, means that may lead to the hormonal imbalance also. And sometimes these and some other effects that may be reversible with this session of exposure also. So we have to be careful when we are going to be exposed towards these toxic substances. Okay. And next one is chronic toxicity. And in this chronic toxicity, it may be refers to the long-term exposure when we are exposed towards this toxic substance. Okay. Why? Because for some other toxicity types, some may be within 24 hours that effectiveness of that toxicity can be seen. But some other it may take 1 week. But some other toxicity we can see the effectiveness of that one for after 1 month or after 3 months also. But this chronic toxicity we can see after some months or after some years also. Okay, it may take about some years to to identify this chronic toxicity. Means when we are going to expose towards that material, continuously we are exposed towards that hazardous materials, means that may lead to our body, means internally we are going to be affected at that time. Means maybe it may not be seen immediately, but after the span of months or years, we can see the problems. Means internal organs can be damaged because of this chronic toxicity also. Okay. And what are the main characteristics of this chronic toxicity is, when we are going to expose it with very low levels, means that can be, this can cause the acute toxicity sometimes. Okay. And next is, when these chronic toxicity is developed in our body, means it will take very long time and sometimes it can be irreversible also. Okay. Means easily that can be reversible. Why? Because when we are going to get some symptoms like vomiting and also continuous fever or this type of symptoms will be having, means we can consult the doctor, and by doing some blood test like that one, means they can say that this is your problem. So they will give the medication towards you. Okay. Then it can be irreversible also. Okay. Means if sometimes it is irreversible, but sometimes if very minute chance of this one, it may be reversible also. Okay. Next one is examples, and here examples are nothing but when human bodies are exposed towards these substances like asbestos. This asbestos can be seen in the concrete structures. Okay. When we are exposed towards this asbestos content, means that will lead towards the respiratory conditions like asbestosis or lung cancer also we may get. And also when we are going to continuously exposed towards this chronic toxicity, means with very small low levels of this like lead, means that can be cause the kidney diseases or neurological diseases over the years. Not immediately, but over the years we may get the kidney problems or neurological problems. Okay. And next one is health effects. And in these health effects, because of the continuous exposure towards this one, like lead, like asbestos, these are all the substances which may be very harmful towards our body. So when we are exposed towards these substances continuously, we may get the cancer or organ failure can be happen, respiratory problems we can see. and also the neurological disasters we may see. These are all the health effects can be seen when we continuously exposed towards this chronic toxicity. And next topic, that is nuclear explosions. Means we all know this nuclear explosion, some may be nuclear bomb or some may be atom bomb also. These nuclear explosions are main source of this chemical hazard, and this may be having the explosion that occurs with a very rapid speed, means a very high energy will going to be get at this time, and high speed, high release energy of this one can be seen. Why? Because that nuclear explosions are made to be that, okay, means radioactive materials we are going to add in this nuclear explosions, okay. And here atmospheric nuclear explosions, these are very much associated with the mushroom clouds. Means when these mushroom clouds are associated with these nuclear explosions, means that can easily occur the very large chemical explosions here, okay. Means these mushroom clouds, what will happen means when any explosion happen means that will explode like this, okay, just like mushroom, okay. And here like this it may be happen, and very much harmful gases can be released at that time. So airburst nuclear explosion without these type of clouds can be possible, but these nuclear explosions are produced with the radiation and also the radioactive debris. Why? Because these radioactive substances are very much harmful, very much harmful. When that nearby people, means that explosion nearby area people, when they expose it towards these radioactive materials, means definitely they have to suffer with this numerous diseases also. Some may get means they may lose their eyesight, and some may lose means they may get deaf also, okay, and respiratory problems they may get, neurological problems they may get. So these nuclear explosions are very much dangerous, okay. It can just wipe out within fraction of seconds the whole state also, or whole country also, okay. And in this one, overall reaction can be, we can explain with these two words, that is fission and fusion. Here nuclear fission is nothing but the splitting of the two unstable nucleus into two lighter nuclei, okay. Two bodies can be converted into, two heavy bodies can be converted into lighter bodies, that is called as the fission here. But fusion, it is nothing but the two light nuclei combine, that two light nuclei, this will just releasing the amount of energy. Means here fission nothing but very heavy nucleus is converted towards the two light nuclei. Here fusion is nothing but the two lighter nuclei, it will just combine towards formation of this energy also, okay. When we are going to combine these two, means fission and fusion, means they are going to be this pure fusion weapon, it will remains the hypothetical device also sometimes, okay. And next one is sometimes, means not only to wipe out the countries also, these nuclear disasters are also can be occur in nuclear reactors, okay. These nuclear reactors can be used for the electrical power. Why? Because when these are occurring, means during the transportation of this any type of nuclear waste or any temporary storage of these materials, means at some nuclear power plants also, that may somewhat harmful, but that can be used for the generation of the electrical power also. And next one is these are the very harmful radioactive materials, that is strontium 90 and uranium 235 and cesium 137. These are the very harmful radioactive materials. Mainly, what are the causes of these nuclear explosions? Why? Because sometimes these nuclear explosions are nothing but the not uh, it may be harmful, but those explosions are very much dangerous. Why? Because nearby areas, if that exploded means nearby areas have to be very much careful. Okay. If they are not at all careful means they have to suffer this explosion also. Means so many diseases they can get because from these explosions also. Okay. Means other than this atom bomb and also hydrogen bomb, these are used to for the means in the war purposes these bombs can be used, but these nuclear explosions can be means nuclear power plants that word we already heard means that nuclear power plant what they will do means they will just generate the means they will do so numerous experiments and researches they may do, and for the medical facilities they may do this type of experiments, and also for the defense activities they may do. So they will be very much careful when maybe people are going to be very much careful, and also the staff they are working so much careful. Why? Because if this nuclear power plants exploded means there will be so much destruction towards the surroundings and that area also. Okay. And mainly what are the main causes of these nuclear explosions are there will be splints and also leaks from the nuclear industry and also medical radiology and defense activities. From this one these nuclear explosions can be happen. And when some radioactive materials when they release very massive amount of this radiation, and also the radioactive materials means that also going to be cause this nuclear explosions. And next one is improper transportation of this nuclear waste means after manufacturing of this nuke means and overall some products for this nuclear industry or some products from the medical field and some products from the defense field, after making all this one by using the radioactive materials they will just take out the nuclear waste and they will dump in some safe area. But when transferring of this nuclear waste, they have to be very much careful. But improper transportation, if they did means, that will give rise to the first of all air pollution. Okay, and there will be so much effect towards the environment also. Environment is going to be contaminated because of this nuclear waste. Okay, and next one is improper storage of this radioactive fuel at nuclear power plants means in nuclear power plants they will going to be generate the electricity sometimes, and they may be these power plants can be generated some energy and some may be generated some medical field products like that one. Defense activity means for the defense activity some people may get some products like that one, they will continuously they are going to be done. But when improper storage means we have to store these radioactive materials very safe. Okay, if we can't store this radioactive materials means that will going to be cause this nuclear explosions also. And next main cause is mismanagement of this nuclear reactors also, and non-standard operations means without any proper plan of any manufacturing also that will leads towards this explosion. And next is poor instrumentation means when we are going to use the equipment for this nuclear conductions means we have to be very careful when we are fixing the equipment, or if any leaks will be there, if any spills will be there means we have to take immediate action to repair that one, or else it may also cause these explosions. And next is very well trained staff we have to take in this nuclear power plants. If there will be very lack of untrained staff means that will be big impact towards this nuclear power plants also. And next one is unreliable instruments means some of the instruments they may use for the research purposes or generating of this energy purposes. What they will do means specific equipment only they are going to be used. But if that some instrument cannot be reliable, that if you are going to use that unreliable instruments means that may cause the nuclear explosions also. Okay. And next is errors in the operation procedures. Means when they are doing some operation procedures like that one, means they have to be very much successful. If they are not successful, means that will lead towards this explosions also. Means one of the best example I'm going to tell you, that is Chernobyl disaster. And this disaster occurred in north central Ukraine region, that is in Russia. And means it is nearer by to the Russia also. And it is in the year 1986, April 26. It is one of the very greatest nuclear accidents of all the times. Why? Because these when this nuclear power plant explode, means that will almost release the energy of 30 to 40 times of the radioactivity when compared with the Hiroshima Nagasaki atom bombs. Means that much of these Chernobyl disaster, when they are doing their when they are working, that because of very small error these explosion occur. And because of this one, almost that radioactivity, it almost released energy of 30 to 40 times of the Hiroshima Nagasaki radioactivity. Why? Because you can imagine how much of that energy is exploded at that time. Okay, 30 to 40 extra more times, means we can imagine how many people they will be affecting because of this disaster. At means at that time only almost 30 people they were died, and including 28 people or radiation exposure, and also 209 cases were treated for acute toxicity. Why? Because these acute toxicity, nothing but what? Means within 24 hours they are going to react towards this exposure. Okay, towards this radioactive materials exposure. So, because of that one, very large areas of Ukraine, Russia, they were contaminated with this radioactive material, means in various degrees also. Means at that time almost 1200 tons of this graphite is already burned, and releasing of this radioactive material into the environment is caused very much air pollution in the Ukraine and also in the Russia also. So these radioactive materials are very much harmful, and this can just wipe out the overall small states also. Sometimes if that power is more, means it can just wipe out the states also. Okay, means this is the picture. Means this is the factory, and in this factory explosion occurred because of very small error. And almost at that time 5000 tons of this dolomite, sand, clay, lead are almost dropped on these flames. Okay, to just to eradicate that explosion. Okay, almost at that time, here you can see 1200 tons of graphite is exploded at that time. Okay, to not release these radioactive materials, they almost just dropped that materials like boron, dolomite, sand, clay, and lead also. And almost at that time 45% of the people nearby that Ukraine, Russia regions, they are still they are suffering from this thyroid exposure towards the radioactive materials. So in order to protect their children from this radioaction, overall that top soil of the school yards are removed, and the walls of the school building is have been cleaned, and overall these gutters are cleared of that mud as well. And because of that one, WHO, means WHO, nothing but World Health Organization, they indicated that cultural products like milk and also seafood is also can be contaminated. So they ordered, means WHO people, they just tell the information that overall products can be contaminated, so don't eat or drink that type of water. Like that when they reported towards this Ukraine and also the Russia region. And also because of this disaster, overall nation is struggled to find the very effective methods to monitor this health and also to protect their food supply from this contamination also. So if any type of disaster occur means that effect can be seen in some months or for some months or for some years also. Means at that time main after disaster completed, main problem of our society is food and also the drinking water. We can't get immediately. Means we have to depend on others. So these Russia and Ukraine people, what they means they want to find the effective methods also, but at that time because of the disaster, there will be very much shortage of food and also the water, drinking water. Okay, and here is another picture of this Chernobyl disaster. Okay, these are the references books. Thank you everyone.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.